Antarctica is a land of extremes, a vast continent of ice at the bottom of our world, larger than the United States and Mexico combined. It holds the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth, a bone-chilling -128.6 degrees Fahrenheit. But this frozen desert is full of incredible secrets, just waiting to be discovered. One of its most baffling mysteries is a giant recurring hole that appears in the middle of the winter sea ice. Imagine flying over an endless white landscape and suddenly seeing a patch of dark, open ocean, big enough to swallow a small country. This isn't science fiction, it's a real phenomenon that has puzzled scientists for decades. A massive opening in the ice called the Maud Rise Polynya. This enormous hole, sometimes growing as large as the entire country of Switzerland, forms far from the coast in the Weddell Sea. It was first spotted by satellites in the 1970s, and then it vanished for many years, only to reappear in 2016 and 2017 with a vengeance. For weeks during the harshest part of the Antarctic winter, this vast expanse of water remained stubbornly ice-free. It was a true climate enigma. How could the ocean stay liquid when the air above was cold enough to freeze it solid in an instant? The answer, it turns out, lies deep beneath the surface, involving a powerful combination of ocean currents, underwater mountains, and the unique properties of saltwater. The formation of this incredible Polynya is like a perfectly choreographed natural dance. It all starts with a huge circular ocean current called the Weddell Gyre. When this gyre becomes unusually strong, it pushes deep, warmer water towards the surface. But there's another crucial player, a massive underwater mountain, or seamount, called Maud Rise. As the current flows over this submerged peak, it creates a swirling effect. This action, combined with powerful surface winds, works like a giant corkscrew, pulling very salty water up from the depths. This process is known as Ekman transport, and it's the key to unlocking the mystery of the hole. So, why does this salty water prevent ice from forming? It's a simple, but amazing bit of chemistry. The more salt you have in water, the lower its freezing point becomes. The water that gets pulled up from the deep ocean around Maud Rise is not only warmer, but also much saltier than the surface water. This super salty layer spreads across the surface and refuses to freeze, even in the brutal Antarctic winter. The Polynya isn't just a curiosity, it plays a big role in our global climate. This cold, dense, salty water eventually sinks back down and travels across the world's oceans, influencing weather patterns far, far away from the icy south. As incredible as a hole in the ice is, some of Antarctica's biggest secrets are buried even deeper. Hidden beneath miles of solid ice are entire worlds that have been cut off from the sun and air for millions of years. Scientists have discovered around 400 subglacial lakes scattered across the continent. These are not small ponds. The largest, Lake Vostok, is one of the biggest lakes on the planet. The immense pressure from the colossal weight of the ice sheet above keeps the water liquid, preventing it from freezing. It's a pristine, isolated environment, a time capsule from an ancient Earth, holding clues about what life might look like on other planets. For years we wondered if anything could survive in such a dark, cold, and high-pressure place. The answer came in 2014 when scientists successfully drilled into Lake Whillans, a smaller lake buried half a mile under the West Antarctic ice sheet. What they found was astonishing, a thriving ecosystem of microorganisms. These tiny creatures don't get their energy from sunlight like plants do. Instead, they feast on minerals and chemicals like methane and ammonium found in the water. They are true extremophiles. Organisms that have adapted to survive in conditions we once thought were completely lifeless, proving that life is more resilient than we ever imagined. One of the most visually stunning and bizarre features in all of Antarctica is bloodfalls. In the seemingly lifeless expanse of the McMurdo Dry Valleys, a 5-story waterfall pours a gruesome blood-red liquid from the tongue of the Taylor Glacier. It looks like the continent itself is bleeding. For over a century, explorers were mystified by this crimson cascade. The source of the color is not from algae or any living organism in the water itself. Instead, the secret lies in the water's ancient origin. The falls are the outlet for a subglacial lake trapped under the glacier for at least 1 million years, completely sealed off from the outside world. The water in this hidden lake is incredibly salty. about 3 times saltier than seawater, and is completely deprived of oxygen. However, it is extremely rich in iron, which it picked up from the bedrock below. The water remains liquid as it seeps through cracks in the glacier. When this iron-rich water finally reaches the surface and comes into contact with the oxygen in our atmosphere for the first time, a chemical reaction occurs. The iron oxidizes, which is the exact same process that causes iron to rust. This rusting water turns a deep red, creating the spectacular and spooky phenomenon we call blood falls. Antarctica's ice doesn't just hide lakes, it conceals entire mountain ranges. Imagine a chain of mountains as grand as the European Alps, but completely invisible, buried under thousands of feet of ice. This is the reality of the Gamburtsev Mountains, a massive range stretching for 745 miles, right in the middle of East Antarctica. No human has ever laid eyes on these peaks, which soar to heights of nearly 10,000 feet. Their existence was first suspected in 1958 by a Soviet science team that recorded strange gravity readings, and they were later mapped using ice-penetrating radar. They are truly ghost mountains, a monumental feature of our planet that remains unseen. The Gamburtsev Mountains present a huge geological puzzle. They are incredibly old, estimated to be about 1 billion years old, yet they haven't eroded away. Typically, mountains of that age would have been worn down to gentle hills over eons of weather and geological activity. It's thought that a massive river system once carved deep valleys into the range before the continent was flash frozen around 34 million years ago. Scientists theorize that the rigid frozen mantle rock deep beneath the ice sheet might be supporting the mountains, preserving their jagged peaks against the crushing weight of the ice above, a sleeping giant waiting under a blanket of white. Here we have a computer-generated rendering of the jagged Gamburtsev Mountains hidden beneath the smooth surface of the Antarctic ice sheet. The idea of a frozen Antarctica is so fixed in our minds that it's hard to imagine it any other way, but the fossil record tells a very different story. Millions of years ago, Antarctica was a warm, lush and green continent, part of the supercontinent Gondwana. It was covered in vast rainforests teeming with life. Scientists drilling into the seabed off the coast have pulled up core samples containing fossilized wood, leaf impressions from tropical trees, and ancient pollen. This evidence paints a picture of a temperate world with flowing rivers and dense forests, a far cry from the icy wasteland we know today. The discoveries from this lost world are absolutely mind-blowing. Researchers have found everything from the fossilized remains of dinosaurs and early birds that roamed the land during the Cretaceous period, to the delicate 14-million-year-old wings of beetles. In one incredible find, they even uncovered 50-million-year-old fossilized sperm cells from an ancient species of worm. These fossils are not just curiosities, they are vital records of Earth's past climate. They show us how dramatically our planet can change, and provide crucial insights into how Antarctica's massive ice sheets formed, which helps us understand what might happen in our own warming world. The mysteries of Antarctica are not all silent and buried. Some are audible, producing a constant, otherworldly sound that is just too low for human ears to hear. The Ross Ice Shelf, which is the largest body of floating ice in the world, roughly the size of France, is, well, singing. Scientists who placed sensitive seismic sensors on the ice to study its structure were amazed to discover that the massive slab was vibrating almost continuously. The ice is humming a deep, low-frequency song, a seismic tune created by the winds that constantly blow across the frozen landscape. It's as if the entire ice shelf is a gigantic musical instrument being played by the weather. This incredible phenomenon is caused by the wind whipping over vast fields of snow dunes, known as sastrugi, that cover the ice shelf's surface. The constant airflow over these hard-packed ridges creates subtle vibrations that travel through the entire ice slab. Although the sound is far below our range of hearing, the seismic sensors pick it up clearly. The song isn't always the same. Its pitch and volume change in response to shifts in the environment. When storms rage or when the surface snow begins to melt, the tune of the ice shelf changes, giving scientists a brand new way to monitor its health. By listening to this ever-present hum, researchers can get a real-time report on the condition of the ice. It's like giving the ice shelf a checkup, Changes in the seismic hum can indicate areas where the surface is melting, where the snowpack is weakening, or where new cracks might be forming. This is incredibly important because the stability of the Ross ice shelf is critical for the entire West Antarctic ice sheet. It acts like a giant cork in a bottle, holding back the massive glaciers on land. If the ice shelf were to collapse, it would allow those glaciers to flow much faster into the ocean, dramatically raising sea levels worldwide. This singing ice provides a vital early warning system. By monitoring the song of the ice, scientists can track its stability and watch for signs of danger, helping them predict potential collapses. Antarctica may seem like a remote and silent continent, but it is full of dynamic processes and hidden wonders, from giant holes in the sea ice to buried mountains and singing glaciers. Each new discovery brings us closer to understanding this frozen frontier and its profound connection to the health of our entire planet. The secrets of the ice are a reminder of how much there is still left to explore and protect in our amazing natural world.